What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Mind Hiking Podcast. I'm your host, Brody Frye, and today is going to be an interesting one. We're going to talk about consciousness, psychedelics a little bit. What else do we talk about? Some crazy stuff.
Simulation
theory, yeah. I got Devin sitting right next to me, so you're in the opener now. And I never turned your mic off, so you snuck in on me, didn't you? You sneaky little weasel, you. All right, guys, hopefully you enjoy this episode, and stay tuned. Hello, and welcome, everyone. I'm your host, Brody Frye, and here we dive deep into difficult questions. We'll map out thoughts, theories, and crazy ideas for the love of knowledge and growth. So, how do we answer some of the mind's toughest questions? This is the Mind Hiking Podcast. Oh, Baron's going crazy. 3, 2, 1, we're live. Devin, welcome back to the podcast.
Hello, it's good to be back.
Pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
What are you drinking there?
Cherry Coke.
Oh, yeah, and what do you got sitting next to it?
Cherry Pepsi.
Fuck yeah.
I'll have to do a review at the end.
Yeah, which one's your favorite? Today I'm drinking something unique. It's Kentucky coffee whiskey, hard cold brew, lightly sweetened mocha, 5.9% alcohol. Yeah, it's interesting. Not really good, but it hits hard. It's like easy on the tongue, but hard on the throat.
Just how I like it.
Oh yeah, and I also got a Miller High Life as a chaser on the side here, so. Yeah, I don't know. I'll probably crack that in just a minute. But, we were just talking about some dirt bikes in the garage. So I was just showing you the latest project. Eventually, I know I keep saying it, but eventually I'll move the podcast out there. Just got a few things to tighten up a little before I actually make the change. But, I'm potentially getting a dirt bike this spring, so that's just going to be exciting. And you were just telling me about your old bike.
Yeah.
What was that thing?
It was a 2021 SSR 189.
Oh, really?
Yes.
189.
It was a very weird CC. It was a completely like their own engine
Super
thing. It
Chinese.
wasn't a copy.
Nice.
It had kick and electric start, and it only ran on 93 gas.
Oh, nice. Yeah, my that's what my KLX 110L was. Also had the electric start and the kick start, and I was like, first thing I did was like remove the battery, remove all the wires, remove the electric start, because I'm like, I'm never gonna use that, and also weight reduction. So, but I beat the piss out of that poor thing.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. So you have some projects going on, some science projects.
I do.
Let's explore.
What would you like to talk about first?
Okay, so let's kind of start from the beginning, I guess. Like, you had an interest, and then you explored that interest. And how did that go for you?
It went quite well. Found out a lot of things. And
this is all hypothetical.
Hypothetical.
So it was so this hypothetical experiment came in the form of a chocolate bar originally, right?
Yeah. So I tried mushrooms, and it was a very fun experience. It just made everything a lot deeper, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
The most fun experience I had was I watched the Avatar,
yeah.
Pandora movie.
Yeah.
On them, and it feels like you're just really in the movie. It's like 3D, but way better.
It's like 3D, except like not just for your senses. You could also smell everything.
Just about. Makes it feel like a first-person movie.
Yeah, you're there. You're just like...
Pretty much.
It's awesome. Was the movie good?
Yeah, I mean, it's always good, but it was a hell of a lot better.
Nice. Yeah, because we've talked about that movie on the podcast before. And we weren't a fan. Katie and I were not a fan of it, but I bet that experience made it quite a bit better.
Yeah.
Was that the first time you ever did when you were watching that movie?
Oh, no, that wasn't my first time. It was probably third or fourth.
Okay, third or fourth time. But like your very first time, were you scared?
No, because I went into it kind of. I like to do a lot of research on things before I do things.
Yeah,
So
you are very knowledgeable.
I did a lot of research and I kind of knew what I was doing, and I
Yep.
just like. You have to go into it in the right headspace. You have to be thinking good thoughts, I would say. If you're having a bad day, it's not a bad day thing.
It's like an amplifier.
Yeah.
Same thing with like, I mean, I guess it's not the same thing, but like similar concept with alcohol too. Like I don't like to drink unless I'm in a good mood. Like, and it's funny because like everybody's got their vices, I suppose. Because like you hear about a lot of people that are like drown themselves in the bottle. Like they like cope with drinking, or like I don't know, people with like depression or PTSD or anything like that. Like some of them use alcohol to like go about that, and it's just like, I guess everybody's got their way of solving their problems, but like I never liked that. And like even some days, like if it's like I have a rough day or something like that, and come home, and like even Katie will just be like, hey, like you want a glass of wine or something? And I'll just be like, no, like I had a rough day. Like if I'm like not in the mood, like if I'm not in a good mood, like I just don't want to. But because it is an amplifier. Like I'd rather, like when I drink, I want it to be like upbeat with friends, and I'm like just enjoying myself. I want it to be a positive thing. Like I don't want it to, because it's already considered like a depressant. Like I don't want to just like be down and then just like drink alcohol and be but and everything too. Actually, before we continue, I want to show you something cool. Bing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, isn't that cool? You never saw that?
No.
Yeah, it's that on-air sign that Katie got me for, I can't remember anymore. It was my birthday, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was birthday, not Christmas. But yeah, we are on air.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. And then she also got me like the door hanger signs over there. That's recording in progress. But
That's dope.
yeah. But anyways, what you experimented with, that was totally legal, right?
Correct.
That was, you want to explain that for me? Because I still don't fully understand that.
I guess it's just a different specific chemical than psilocybin. So it's like slightly different. Like,
So what is, I'm going to like talk like I'm stupid. Like what is psilocybin? That is just like the chemical
it's just
hallucinogen in mushrooms.
It's a psychedelic chemical just in specific mushrooms.
Okay. And so what's different about the ones that you had?
I don't know. It felt a bit weaker, but it still gave the same effects.
Okay.
It just wasn't as intense, I would say.
Gotcha. So I remember you comparing it with like marijuana, where it's like you got the different strains and like.
Yeah. So like with the mushroom chocolate bar, if you took like low doses, it was just kind of like, it was similar to marijuana.
Yeah.
But just more uppity, you know? Mm-hmm. But then if you took stronger doses,
Yeah.
it was more of a psychedelic effect.
Okay. So it was positive experience for you.
Yes.
Okay. And so what was like the experience the first time? Like was it, because I'm sure like going into it the first time you had no frame of reference, you didn't know what to expect, and it was kind of like, you weren't scared at all?
No, I kind of just put on a movie that I thought would be good.
Yeah.
And then it made me enjoy the movie a lot more. It felt
Okay.
like I was in the movie, you know?
Okay, yeah, very cool. And then from then, like, so you had it a few times. It was positive experience every time. Did anything, like, you didn't start like, was it just like a good feeling? You didn't like have any visions or anything, did you?
There was visions.
Was there?
Yeah,
Okay,
there was visual.
you wanna walk me through some of that?
Just, I guess things would glow, like certain things if you looked at them, like
Okay.
the surrounding of the TV would like glow more, I
Mhm.
guess.
Yeah.
And then just altogether feeling more like in the movie, like 4D, but
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. That's cool. So then, so these are the only kind you've experienced, or?
Yes.
Okay. Actually? Okay, was this like the most visuals you've seen on these ones, the chocolate bars?
No.
Oh no.
No.
So there's another one where there was more to it.
Yes.
Okay. How did that go?
It was just a psilocybin mushroom.
Okay.
And it was just stronger, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. So did it like freak you out, or?
No, it was just more of the same, but just stronger visual effects, I would say.
Okay. Interesting. Like lots of colors or just like things melting.
It's hard to explain, but just, yeah, more of all of the above. It kind of depends on the situation.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Would you recommend it, the experience?
I would.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the weirdest thing I would see was if you would look into a mirror, like, you know how if you put two mirrors together,
Yeah.
how you can just see infinitely?
Oh, yeah.
It would
yeah.
look like that.
Okay. Interesting. Did it feel like an out of body kind of experience, or?
At times, yes.
Very interesting. Yeah, it's interesting, and I like hearing perspective like this just because like I am curious about the world we live in and things around us, and like I feel like there's this coffee is not helping my throat. I'm gonna switch over. Just gotta do this quick. Oh yeah, there it is. Oh yeah, Miller High Life is so foamy. Like look at all those bubbles.
It is quite
Just
bubbly.
going up. Yeah, it's so bubbly. Yeah, it's like the champagne of beers. That's literally what it says. Oh, cheers. Yeah, that's a little better. Yeah, what was I saying? I feel like just mushrooms in general, like they're so like there's like, and not even mushrooms really, but like I feel like there's like a core drive in human beings to alter their state of minds. I don't know if it's because we are so like have such active minds, or the world or the structures that we put in place around us, we can't handle it, so we try to escape, or if like these bodies we've been put into are like too painful and we're trying to escape and we can't, but we're just like, I feel like there's such a strong human drive and desire to alter your state of consciousness.
I would agree.
Like it is interesting to me, like whether it be through alcohol, marijuana, mushrooms, or any other sort of anything, like we're always trying to like just alter, even something as simple as caffeine. Like you wake up in the morning and you're tired and it's just like time to alter my state of consciousness to fake that I'm awake. Let's drink some coffee. And that's just the socially accepted addiction.
Yeah.
But it is like we're always trying to like alter our states of consciousness. Like I don't know if we're like just like containers of consciousness. Like we're just kind of like stuck in our bodies. Like, what do you think of like life and death? Do you think there's anything after we die? Like, totally honest. You can be totally honest.
I guess I would be more of a pessimist on that, and I would say that you should just. I think that this is all that there is.
Mm-hmm.
After, I don't think there's anything. I think it's just gonna fade to black. So
Yep.
I think it's good to try new things.
Yeah. Yeah, and like, you can never be totally sure. And if you have any beliefs in anything, it is faith. And I, like, while we're here, we don't know. We haven't been given any information, but there is what seems to be some sort of pre-programming towards exploration and understanding the world around us and altering your state of consciousness. And I don't know if it's just like we're just a bunch of curious little monkeys running around and just trying to explore and like tinker with things and like figure out what we're supposed to be doing here for no reason, because we're not supposed to be doing anything. We're just supposed to like be born, reproduce, and die. Or if there is a greater purpose, which kind of is like interesting too, because it's like, what is the point of, even if there is nothing other than living and dying, what is the point of reproduction? Why start that in the first place? Why start this process of being born, reproduce, spreading the human race? And like all these other animals are trying to like reproduce and like spread their species. Like, what's the point in that? Like, that makes me question things. Like, what?
My belief on that is that I don't think there is anything after this life. So I believe that you don't have to do everything, but there are things to do. So why not just do them and experience more things than not do more things? So
Yeah.
I think you should just do whatever you want to do and experience what you want to experience in this life, and you should use it how you see fit.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm right there along with you as far as like the life goes, because I think there is too much control in society, and I think the structures that are put in place like keep us grounded and like try to control it. I like that. I hate the control. Like anything that just like bombards us or infringes on any of our freedoms, like that stuff is like, you don't know any better than the next guy, and I don't know any better, and nobody knows anything. So who's to say what's right and wrong? But there's a big but there. There's a big like like tipping point there where like I can say nobody knows what's right or wrong, but there seems to be some sort of like a built-in guidance system within us where it's like if you see somebody like, I don't know, I feel like if you like, obviously we know that like murder's wrong. Like if we just like go out and kill somebody, like that's not right. And we know that. And like if you help somebody, like what even is helping somebody? Like making their life easier in some sort of a way, like that we know is good. There's nothing bad about helping somebody make their life easier. So that's kind of like a built-in guidance system of life. So we do have like this kind of like, and we all seem to know that. We all seem to know like what's right and wrong in some sort of a way. So there is like that system in place, but like, I don't know. It's weird because I don't know. It's a tough one because we don't really know anything for sure. But that is something that heavily influences my thoughts on being more to life than just reproduction and dying, because we do have, like, why would something being right and wrong even matter? Go ahead.
I think that there's societal and then more like personal levels of morality. Like there's a whole, as a society, some things are so moral, and then like within a set group of people, they have different sets of morals than like socially, you know?
Yeah.
So every single person on this earth has a different set of morals than everyone else. Like no one's gonna have the exact same morals. So it's only, everyone's only as moral as they think that like they have to be, to an extent.
I guess that makes sense too.
So it's all, we keep each other to a standard.
It's like checks and balances of society.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. But even like you see like cultures and like tribes that have been uncontacted, like in Africa and things, where even they have like some sort of a social construct, or like some sort of a mode of being where there's order. Like we're making order out of chaos, which is like the universe we're in is like, sorry, this is like really bubbly beer. But the universe we're in is like constantly changing, constantly chaotic. And it's like, it seems that we're just like put here to organize. Like we're just like a bunch of little like organizers. Like everything's just mixing around us and we're just trying to put things back in place. And like we're raising our offspring to just, this is the problem. Things are all out of place. Like there's so much to do. Like just, you're going to just put things back in place and then die. I don't know. It's crazy, but like and if you're talking about this, like why we're here, like there's just so many big questions. Like I don't know. Like there's three big questions. Three big questions that I don't know. I've said this on the podcast before, but I believe that somebody on this planet knows the answers to these. But the three big questions that like through all of history and we've always been asking, and people have beliefs about them, but like real answers, the three big questions that we're kind of like born thinking is, why are we here? Are we alone? And what happens when we die? And those are tough ones. Those are really hard questions. And I think it's funny too, because being the biggest questions you can ask, they're like strived after the least. They're sought after the least. Like we just kind of like, it's like we're afraid to pursue the answer. Maybe somebody knows and they just steer it away because it's so horrific. Like how bad, like could it be? How bad can it be? Like if somebody knows and they're keeping it from us, like how bad could it be that they don't allow the American public, or not even the American public, I don't mean to speak like that, like the world, like humanity. Why can't they? Like what could be so bad? Like could you think of anything so bad? Like what if we're just soul containers? What if we're just soul containers? We're just like born and like aged like a fine wine or whiskey or something like that, or a cheese, just for the enjoyment of some higher being. And they just like suck the soul out of you. Maybe death is the sucking of the soul. The enjoyment of your insides.
I don't know. I guess I'm just gonna have to experience as much stuff as I can before that happens.
Yeah, before you get sucked.
Yeah. That's my plan.
Yeah. And maybe they like that. Maybe it's like the more you experience, the more flavorful you are. Are you trying to become as flavorful as you can?
I'm delicious.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's like that. I don't, could it get worse than that? Could it get worse than like us just being a delicacy for some higher being? I don't know. Like
I still just I don't really, my opinion on this is just that I don't care what happens next. I'm just doing my thing now, you know?
Yep. Enjoy what you got right now.
It doesn't matter what happens after this if I'm just doing this.
Yeah, that's true.
Just try and stay in the moment.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good philosophy. Staying in the moment, staying in the present. I don't know. It's like we could go on this forever. There's so many different routes to take. Like, I don't know. Like, what are we really doing? Like, it's so weird. Have you ever seen death? Like, whether it be a human being or whether it be an animal, or have you seen something die before? Sorry, kind of personal.
Yes.
Okay. You don't, if you don't want to explain, you don't have to, but.
I saw my uncle die of cancer.
Oh, did you really?
I saw him take his last breath.
Wow, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that.
We were very distant, so it was...
Okay. When I've seen things die, it's like a spirit is transported out of their body. Like, if you've ever looked into the eyes of something while they die, it's like you can see it, and they don't close their eyes. Like, when they die, the eyes don't close because there's no muscles active to shut those eyelids. It's just like a softening of the body. And like you can like see the spirit leave. Like, I don't know if you...
It's like a battery running out.
Yeah.
It just slowly...
Yeah, like, I don't know. I like more and more there's, for me, like, there's that energy can't just be there and then like not be there. Be there 1 minute and then not be there 1 minute. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. There's got to be something, because it can't just be working and then just like disappear. Like, even with like, you can take this to the automotive industry as well. Like, if you're in a car moving at whatever 40 miles an hour and then you hit your brakes and then you stop, that energy didn't just disappear. You didn't just stop from pressing a lever. That energy, what's happening is that's kinetic energy. You're moving forward, and then it's turning into thermal energy by your brake pads and rotors. You press the brakes and it's outputting thermal energy from kinetic energy. You're just transferring energy to something else, something that wasn't there before and is now. Something that, like, that kinetic energy was there, and there was no thermal energy, but you're transferring kinetic energy into thermal energy. And that, I think that's, like, everything's just transferring. Everything, like, more and more, I'm just like, when you die, I think it's like, like you're dying and then being reborn. It's like you're going somewhere. There's a transfer, like that energy, your soul, like the energy that was in control of your body is being transferred somewhere. Like it can't just like shut off.
I think it just shuts off. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Because I was right there with you for my whole life. I was raised to believe that, and I remember being in kindergarten or first grade, somewhere around there, getting on the school bus, leaving from school, and I remember like breaking down crying. And however old that was, like 4, 5, 6 years old, and just like breaking down, thinking about me just shutting off. It's like such a young age, and I'm like crying over me shutting off, and I believed that up until like this year. But I just like dig into it more, and I don't know.
I think I just shut off, and I have no fear of shutting off, because once I'm shut off, I'm not going to feel it. So.
Yeah, no, and you're right about that too, because that's, like I said, I thought that same exact thing, and I always used to say, like, it's just like before you're born, you don't remember anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It also, like I said, it could just be we were reborn. Like I don't know if we were made from scratch. Like maybe we transferred into these bodies, and then we're going to transfer again. Maybe we're just maturing and growing, experiencing. Like it could be important to experience, seek knowledge, and grow, and I don't know, like. And then there's the "Are we alone?" question. Are we alone?
I don't think so.
I think it's statistically impossible
I agree.
that we're like.
There's just no way that we are alone. You know?
Yeah. Have you ever seen those videos of like zooming out from your location, like all the way out to like the ends of the earth to the edges of the solar system, then the edges of the galaxy, and then the edges of the universe, and you just like keep zooming out, and it's just like boom, and then zoom out into multiverse, and it's just like, which is kind of a weird thing, because like the universe, when you say the universe, that's supposed to encompass everything, and then now this word multiverse kind of like, I understand what it's trying to say, but the universe is supposed to encompass everything, but then it turned into like multiple universes, which technically that's supposed to encompass that as well, but I don't know. I think our language is just limiting, but I think it's more likely that it's like a dimensional thing, which like that there's obviously dimensions, and like literally measurable dimensions. Like there's first dimension, there's a 0th dimension, there's a first dimension, and second dimension. We're in the third dimension. Like you can literally measuring tape measure these things, and like it's just dimensions of measurement. So I feel like it's more of a dimensional topic, but like with that said, the odds of like these dimensions and the vastness of the universe, like there's no way we're just like this Goldilocks planet, like not too hot, not too cold, we're just right to have life, and we're the only ones.
So there's a little microscopic organism called the tardigrade, also known as a water bear.
Okay.
And they can survive in the vacuum of space. So something can in fact survive in the vacuum of space.
Interesting.
So
What is it?
based
Can
on
you go
that-
do that again?
What?
Just say all that again.
A tardigrade,
Okay.
also known as a water bear is its more common name,
Okay.
but they can survive in the vacuum of space. So we've proven that something can survive in the vacuum of space.
Okay.
So I think that because of that, and because we haven't explored everything, there is still more to see that we just can't see it yet.
Yep.
Then I think it's very limited to think that there's not something that we just haven't explored yet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I'm absolutely 100% certain that there is life elsewhere than on planet Earth. And do you follow any like UFO stuff? There's so much bullshit out there. It's so frustrating.
Not like current. I just like have heard the more like popular stories.
Yeah. Like on Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he I love Joe Rogan. He's awesome. He's got some great podcasts, but I did kind of lose some respect just because there's a certain guy that he had interviewed and certain people just didn't like what he had to say and he took that episode down. Which is frustrating. I mean, that's fine, but like how he talks about free speech and how he can say anything he wants, but like that's not true because he was approached and told to take an episode down, and he did. So it kind of a little frustrating, but
I think it's frustrating, but if he is told by someone that he has to do it or else something will like happen to his platform, I guess that's kind of fair because
yeah.
I guess if you heard it and you're lucky, but if you didn't hear it, then it's like, oops, you missed out. He has to keep his platform there, you know?
Yeah.
He can get more free speech out if he keeps his platform than if he just fights for the one.
Yeah. That's the biggest issue with like all this whistleblower stuff going on in the UFO world where people are choosing their careers over humanity. They're choosing their careers over like the right decision to disclose this information, all this stuff that's going on. There's too much to the point where it's like everybody knows at this point, or at least enough people know. And like it,
I think that brings us back to the moral, social, and public and personal
yeah,
levels of morality, you know?
that's true. That's true.
Because someone like you would give up your career to save everyone or tell everyone or whatever. And the people who do know and aren't saying anything, they don't have the same morals as you.
Damn, you're actually right. That was actually pretty cool. Yeah, because I guess there's more of a like I don't know. Okay, so hopefully Katie doesn't get mad at me for saying this, but it's so easy to get caught. Like obviously we've all heard like she's very strong in her faith. She's very religious, and we have this conversation often about like whether or not we'll go to heaven, and she fears that she won't, like if she's making the wrong decisions, and she fears that she's not good enough and not worthy enough, which technically we're not, because we're all fucked up and we all make stupid decisions. But I think there's
if there is a heaven, you shouldn't do decisions based on whether you think you are or are not going to get into it.
Yeah.
If you're going to get into it, you're just going to get into it.
Yeah.
And if you're not, you're not.
Yeah.
You should just do what you think is right and wrong, but not base it solely on the fact of if you do or do not go.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Be yourself. Be who you were born to be. Also, I think, like, hypothetically, being the creator of the universe, I think God, the creator of the universe, has bigger problems on his hand than whether or not you chose to recycle, or whether or not you like smiled back at somebody, or whether or not you were having a bad day and you said some snarky comment to somebody, or whether or not you decided to push back that anger and be kind to them anyways. Or like, I feel like there's moral decisions that are way more important than whether or not you said good morning to your coworkers this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's a lot happening. I know there's a lot happening, but like, I think he's not like, from a God perspective, I think there's a lot more happening than, or there's bigger issues than just like this like silly play stuff going on in each and every person's everyday life, like whether or not you're making the right choice each and every moment. Like, I don't think that that's morally as important as the weight we put on it.
I'd say I'm more of an atheist.
Uh-huh.
I think that if there is a God, he probably is kind of moody and decides when he wants to do things and not do things because stuff. But then also, how did something start from nothing?
Yeah.
So
sorry, Bailey's like molesting you right now.
No, it's all good.
Okay. You're a dog person.
Yeah. But
you want to tip that down a little? It's okay there, but if you want to just, yeah.
I don't know. If there's something, it's a moody something. But there also kind of can't be nothing, because then how did something happen?
Yeah. It's like what came first, the chicken or the egg kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which it was obviously the fucking chicken.
Yeah, because this all can't be fake, because then something's still happening.
Yeah.
And how did it all start?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Because, like, there can't be something from nothing.
Exactly.
So how did it start? Like, you could, like, believe what you want. Like, even if there is a God that, whatever term you want to use, you could just use the term creator, because it's like, this building, this house exists, somebody built it here, but like the creator of this house, I don't know who it is, and they're nowhere to be found. Like, this universe has been created somehow. Like, why does it all exist? Like, we exist. Like, that's enough proof of some sort of creator. And I think it's just like, it's just hard for a lot of people to wrap their minds around things that they haven't seen for themselves. And I think that's a major thing with, like, life outside of Earth as well. Mm-hmm. Is people just, like, want to see it for themselves. It's, you know what, it's, everybody's a critic, and it's easy to be the critic. It's cool to be the critic. It's cool to be, like, there's such a big fear of being duped, is what it comes down to. Like, there's a fear of being tricked. Like, we don't want to be tricked. We don't want to be fooled, because then you feel dumb inside, and you don't want to. Oh, that's good. Should have done that right on the mic. Going for the cherry Pepsi. Oh, shit. You can hear those freaking bubbles. Damn. Okay, which one's better? First sip of it. Is it?
I'm a Pepsi man.
Oh, really?
Pepsi is sweeter and usually has less carbonation.
Yeah, that is very true. Yeah, Coke is, like, really frothy.
Yeah, I don't like that much carbonation.
Yeah, me either. I've always been more of a Pepsi guy.
I tend to every now and then leave drinks out to get flat and then drink them.
Oh yeah, I don't mind flat drinks either. Yeah, it's I know JJ calls me freaking insane for that, but like
It's just
I don't
better.
mind. Yeah, I like that a little bit
I
better.
don't do it all the time, but
Yeah,
it's better.
yeah, yeah. I don't like it overly fizzy.
Yeah.
You don't like those bubbles in your throat. But it's easy to be the critic. It's cool to be the critic. It's cool to be like, "Yep, see, I told you," kind of thing. It's so much easier to be negative than it is to be positive. And the negative weighs heavier than the positive. And that's why like you can get a group together and like if one of them are a negative person, by the end of the day, everybody's going to be pissed off. If somebody's pissed off, everybody's going to be pissed off. That's enough proof that the negative weighs heavier than the positive. You can bring a neutral person up slightly, a little bit, but like the negative, if you put like a negative and a positive and then a neutral person together, like everybody's going to be pissed off by the end of the day. So it's like the negative weighs more. And also like people feel smarter if they were right, and people would rather be right about something that isn't going to be proved, such as, or at least they think in their lifetime, or like a topic such as religion, like if there's a God or not, or if there's life outside of Earth or not. Like we've come this far without knowing for sure, and it's way easier for people to say, just go with what's already been like decided in society for us. It's because they don't want to be wrong. They're afraid to be wrong, and they're afraid of that social ostracizing. It's like I talk about this in the first episode 1, and it's just like goes back to the judgment of creating the social constructs of society where we don't want to feel outcasted. We want to make sure that we're part of the team because that's how we stay alive and reproduce and thrive, is being part of a team, part of a tribe. And that's not possible if you come up with some radical decision and you get outcasted, some radical, like crazy idea, and nobody agrees with you. But I don't know. I don't agree with that. I don't know. I think it's important to be creative, and I think it's important to test things. I think it's important to find out for yourself and question things rather than just telling other people you're wrong just because that's what society says and I'm afraid of being wrong, kind of thing.
I think it's better to be skeptical than critical.
That's,
yes,
yeah.
Some people have stupid ideas, but you don't have to be an ass.
Right.
When they have a stupid idea, they're going to find out it's stupid eventually.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm not going to be critical. I'll just let them do their thing, and if it turns out to be wrong, I'll keep that in my mind.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a good way. Skeptical rather than critical.
You can always just doubt things, but that doesn't mean it's wrong.
Yeah, that is better. Yeah. But I mean anybody can also say that anybody can be skeptical as well. But you're right. There's stages there for sure. But I don't know. Like I think about like scientists. Like if they approached everything like, yeah, this probably isn't going to work, then we wouldn't get anywhere. Like you got to be like the crazy scientists are the ones that like Einstein. Like he was absolutely insane. Everybody thought he was, but
he was being skeptical. He was like, I don't know. This
Yeah.
could be right or this could be wrong.
He wasn't afraid to do crazy things and have crazy ideas. And same with like Nikola Tesla, like just a madman, but he did amazing things. And I don't know. It's just easy to be a skeptic and then just kind of like sit in your own life and waste away. I don't mean to like bash you or anything, but I'm not trying to. I'm just trying to like get across that it's easy to be skeptical, but I don't know. I think there's just too much information out there about, like, I think people jump to conclusions before they research for themselves. I think that's one of the biggest problems. I think it's important to do your due diligence.
I love doing research, so
Yeah.
whenever I hear things that interest me, I always look into them.
Oh yeah. It's like rabbit holes everywhere.
Exactly.
You look at something and then it's like they all just start coming to you. It's like you find something that interests you and then like you find a source and you start researching and then it's like that source provides like outlets for all sorts of other ones, and then it's just like multiples upon multiples, and it's just like spider webs of just this huge network of, and it's just like, oh my goodness, like now I gotta like read this, watch this, listen to this, and it's just like there's always so much. It's like there's always so freaking much. Like rabbit holes, wormholes, you start diving in and then it's just like endless. But that's good. And that's like a natural human desire for pursuing knowledge and wisdom and growing and maturing. Like,
I guess that's what I think we live for, just the pursuit of something. It doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
It's different for each person, but everyone is in pursuit of one thing that they want by the end of this.
Yeah. 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 Then can you accept the death afterwards?
Yeah, everyone has one singular biggest goal. So everyone is just in the pursuit of one specific thing.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, it is. I don't know. I like to believe that there's I don't know. There's just gotta be more. There's gotta be more than just, I don't know. It's, I don't know. Like, it just comes down to the energy thing for me, where, like, it just can't, you see enough death and it's just, like, that can't just go nowhere kind of thing. I don't know. Like,
I guess I just kind of live by, if there is something that's great, but I'm going to live like there's nothing next.
Yeah, that's good. That's good, because
that's what
because you don't know for sure. So that's good, because then you get to experience as much as, like, live like this is it, because that's the best way to grow and mature, is experience things like you won't get another chance, because you don't know what you got till it's gone. So might as well just,
you got to take those chances when you're nervous.
try it. Yeah. You want to sorry. Yeah. You can grab it by the little.
All right.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Yeah, no, that's a good way to look at it too. It's just, you don't know, and who cares what others think? Just try it, because
you might as well.
You might as well, and you don't know if there's going to be another shot at it. I think that's a good way to look at it.
And what you experience in life is what you morally think you should do. You will only go so far on what you want to do in life based on, or that's a wrong way of putting it, but based on what your morals are in life is what you're going to experience out of it, I guess.
Yeah. Like you're projecting
like if you have
yourself.
bad morals, you're going to do more bad things.
Yeah.
And if you, nah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I explained that wrong.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think I know what you mean. Like, you're just projecting your thoughts into the world, and that's what you're going to experience. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah. Like, if your morals are all straight and narrow, you're only going to really, like, get that out of life. But if you slightly bend rules, like speeding a car, taking an illegal drug, that's a different experience as someone who only has straight and narrow, like 100% by the law
Yep.
morals. So
Yeah.
that type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Do you ever think about consciousness?
I think everything's kind of conscious in a sense.
That's definitely a thought to it, because
Plants search out light. We
Yeah.
search out whatever we want to search out in that moment. Animals do as well.
yeah,
I guess a rock wouldn't have a consciousness, but that's kind of different.
yeah, yeah. It is active atoms though. That's like, that thing exists. A rock exists. That is vibrating atoms. There's kind of two sides there, where it's like how can us, as just a bunch of space dust, like, we're just a bunch of random dust particles from space that just formed into the perfect combination of things to become self-aware. Like, how did that happen? Like, how can a bunch of unaware things be combined to create an aware thing? Like, that doesn't really add up. So
I guess if there is a God, they would kind of be like a coder with a video game, like putting it together,
yeah.
doing bug fixes,
Yep.
and then like beta testing, and then there's an objective towards the end,
Yeah.
and they're trying to get to that, but also like changing things in between.
Yeah. There's a lot of video games like that too, like No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
Endless. That game is endless, and there's life forms in it that are literally endless, and they're still creating it. And it's like 4 college students created that thing, and it's just like,
Yeah, I guess if there's a God, he programmed a game, and it's like a college,
yeah,
almost like a college assignment where he has to keep on making a game, and then he has to like do some random little change here,
Yeah.
some random little change there that like changes everything.
yeah. That's
And then he's doing bug fixes the whole time throughout.
that's simulation theory.
Yeah, I guess that's what I would believe in, kind of.
Yeah, yeah. Because they're gonna introduce AI into No Man's Sky. They're also gonna introduce AI into Sims, which will be pretty interesting. Like, how long before those entities?
How long till I
Think.
can make a sim into a robot?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Literally, like No Man's Sky is a great example, because it is like a universe inside of a computer. Like, that game is endless. Like, you just keep going. Is it like a treadmill thing where like image comes up in front of you and you keep going and then it just falls back behind you, or like it just renders what your surroundings are, or it's just a fucking really strong computer? I don't know.
I think it's just rendering everything in front of you.
Yeah.
And it's like per person.
Yep.
It's a client-based game.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So the only thing that renders is what you see, and it's per client in the game.
Yeah. Which is kind of, that's implying that we're all individuals, like individual consciousness, like, which kind of begs the question of, why is there so many consciousness, like so many individual consciousness is?
Someone's just sitting away on that computer, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Like, why are we individual consciousness is, or is it all one consciousness, and we're just perceiving it from our perspective, giving the illusion that we're individual?
I'd say we're all separate.
All separate consciousness.
Because there's no mind reading. No 100% mind reading.
Yeah. That's a good way to see it. I never thought about that. We do have our senses in this body, this fleshly body that we've been provided with. So that might give the illusion that we are individual as well. And we could lose touch with the singular consciousness just because of our perspective. And maybe that energy just kind of goes into the battery bank of the singular conscious when we die.
I still just think it would poof.
Gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poof.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
Yeah. That's a hard one for me to.
We turn into experience for everyone else.
Yeah. We just float away into dust. Conscious particles out into the universe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think everything's conscious, every molecule, every atom, or is it just like a cluster, a perfect cluster in our heads that just creates something that's self-aware?
I guess everything would be conscious.
Yeah. I obviously I don't know, but this is one of those topics that it's like you could steer me either way. Like I'm just talking hypothetical here, and like I don't know. I'm just speaking from past experiences, and I don't know. But speaking of past experiences, that's another thing along with simulation theory, where like what if we're just put in motion? Like what if we don't have free will? What if we don't get to decide anything? What if everything that we have done, everything we're doing, and everything we will ever do has already been predetermined, and we're just going through the motions, just doing everything? For me, that's pretty believable, because
I guess we'd just be an AI that was given a prompt.
yeah, we've just been programmed based off of our, because everything you decide, and this is going to be hard for people to even understand. And this is hypothetical, but like everything that you ever decide to do has been predetermined based off of past experiences. But where did those past experiences come from? All of your past experiences, and up until you were born, and everybody before you, like things that happened to you were decided because of everybody else around you's past experiences. And even take that back as far as like the Big Bang, like we already know that the universe is expanding. Like light is this is an easy explanation. Light, when you shine a flashlight, light goes. Like if I shine a flashlight right here to you, light travels from me to you. Stars are shining out into the vacuum of space. Where is that light going? It's going infinitely out. So, and even the planets and stars and everything's moving away. Like everything's expanding, and the light's got to go somewhere. So it's going, like everything's growing and expanding. The universe is going into everything that hasn't existed before, into things that now exist. And it's just, things are all set in motion. All this has been set in motion. So what if things were set in motion to the point where life was predetermined? We just evolved, and then every decision we ever make is predetermined because of our past experiences. We were put into motion to make these decisions. Like somebody said something to you that pissed you off, and that person was pissed off already because of something that somebody else did, but that was all predetermined. And we don't really have free will. And a choice that you're trying to make even right now that you're unsure about, you're going to make a decision. And what if that decision is decided just because your past experiences leaned you one way or the other, and that decision has already been made? You're just in the lull right now, experiencing what it's like to be indecisive.
All right, if we're going with simulation theory right now,
Okay.
you know how, like, as time moves forward,
Mm-hmm.
at one point, the past generations start to get forgotten.
Yep.
unless it's like written down in books and stuff.
Yeah, holy
that would
fuck.
be like dedicated RAM on a computer.
I already
and
got
everything
exactly
that's
what you're doing.
forgotten is RAM that is like it's gone, it's unrendered.
Yeah.
But things that stay would be like important.
The hard drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then as we
you.
find more stuff, it's the computer getting upgraded more and it can render more and it's getting more RAM.
Yeah.
But then there's also still the hard drive, so it like everything has to constantly be keeping up with each other and getting upgraded, but
Yeah.
things are being remembered in the storage.
Yeah.
And things are being unrendered because there's not enough RAM.
Yeah. Yeah, the key events that we remember are all downloaded into the hard drive. But everything we're experiencing right now, yeah, is the RAM. Because, like, you don't remember the key details of, like, everything that's around. Like, if you're, like, at a park, you look around and see all the trees and everything, and you just, like, experience everything. But, like, say you're not focusing on the people and the trees and everything around you. You're focusing on a conversation. Then years in the future, you remember that conversation because it was memorable in some way. But you don't remember who was walking past you or who was sitting in the park bench behind you or anything while you were having that conversation. All that's lost. That's just like the ones and zeros shave off, basically, where the only thing that was downloaded to the hard drive was the important parts.
And what you remember is in your hard drive, and that makes you you.
Yeah, but in the moment, the RAM was providing the universe around you, and all that was happening. But now it's just like the key events were
Your
downloaded.
achievements are saved.
Yes, your achievements are saved.
Your achievements are saved to the hard drive, and everything is filtered out through the RAM.
Yeah, that's a very
That's a very strong theory.
believable theory. Yeah, yeah. And the way video games are going now, like, how far before we can't determine a video game from reality? Like, just look at this exponential growth. What was it in the late 70s, 80s? They're playing Pong on the Atari with pixels, and now it's like we already have VR, and it's like, did you see Disney came out with something this year where it's literally like a hexagonal platform that has like tilting ability where you can walk on it. You can have like multiple people standing on this platform. You can walk on it, change directions, walk on it, but you're stationary.
I guess we just got a new graphics card.
Yeah, I guess so. Fuck. The creator just upgraded our graphics card.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's like, how long before you, like, because this is that's still like, you can feel the ground and you can like there's like a weighted headset on, like you can still feel a VR headset. You can trick your mind in a lot of things. Like when you're playing video games for a while and you're invested staring at the TV, like you can still in your peripheral see the world around you. You can still see your walls in your house. You know you're sitting playing a video game, but it tricks your mind. You get invested in the game and you're like focused on it. But like, how long before they place you in a sensory deprivation tank and you're in a video game where like you can't perceive the world around you, but all you can perceive is the VR? Like, how long before you can't distinguish reality from a video game?
I guess if we're still going with simulation theory on this, when you're on a computer, it'd be like interfacing with something in a video game, like going to the next screen.
Yep.
And you're like connected to it. And then if you go in like a sensory deprivation tank, it'd be like clearing your RAM.
Yeah.
Or like a...
Yeah. Clear. Yeah. And just loading up a new program.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah.
This is all hypothetical.
Hypothetical, yeah. But like, has this all happened already?
Who knows?
Like, maybe that's what happens when we die. We just die and the video game's over and then we just hop out of our chairs. And what if you just like gain back all of your memory and it's just like, okay, back to life.
Back to level 0.
You just die, wake up with a controller in your hand, and you're just like, okay, all right, Mom, I'm coming down to dinner. I'm done.
So life is like a video game where inventory drop is on.
Yeah, you just lose everything. Oh my goodness.
And there's just a ton of spawn points.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing that's interesting too is like the amount of people that are still coming into the, it's like, it's almost seems like consciousness is infinite because we can like have as many babies as we want.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the amount of people on the planet are growing like crazy. Obviously, like multiples of multiples, it's exponential growth. So like that kind of creates a question for the consciousness thing. Like, is consciousness an infinite source? Is it like I don't know. Is it like light where like you can have as many holes in the blanket as you want? Like, say like you got a light bulb and you just like poke a bunch of holes in a piece of fabric and lay it over, and like the light coming out is us like our consciousness. But like you could just poke a bunch more holes until the fabric's gone. But the light's still shining. Like, it doesn't weaken the light in any way. Like, or are we our own individual light bulbs? And then we're popping out babies, and those are just lights shining from our bulb.
So if we're still going with simulation theory, I guess like morally in America, we all think like babies, babies, babies. Obviously, there's a few people
Pop them out.
But obviously, there's a few people here and there that you know that like don't want to have kids.
It's more like, let's get rid of this boner.
So
let's get rid of this boner.
In our current
And then
area,
babies
the
happen.
moral overall objective is like just keep on reproducing. But in like China as a whole, for a while, they decided, hey,
Oh, yeah.
let's not have as many babies. They
Yep.
chose that objective.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So like there's different servers, I guess.
Yeah.
And where you go, like, and you can change it with your current like moral status.
Interesting.
So it's just like a pyramid of moral statuses to like the main,
Yeah.
and then like on the more personal level it differs.
Yeah.
Simulation theory is starting to
Get strong.
yeah.
It is. It really is. That is a
Strong theory.
Yes.
Emphasis on theory.
Yes. Especially with the creation of AI as well. Like, that's like simulation theory is just getting stronger and stronger. It's I don't know. And like a lot of people fear AI, and I'll get freaked out from AI too if I listen like to all this shit. But like, I really think that the biggest threat to humanity isn't AI, isn't aliens, isn't other countries invading us. I think the biggest threat to humanity is humanity itself.
Our morals.
I think it's us.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Like, I don't know. There's so much like it's no wonder why like people say like, why don't, like, if there aliens exist, why don't they just land on the White House lawn? Like, we're fucking mean. We're ruthless animals. Like, with nuclear weapons. Like, nuclear weapons, and we're blowing them up on the planet that we live on. We live here, and we're hitting our own planet with nuclear weapons. Like, it's we're not peaceful animals. It's no wonder. Like, we've shot nuclear weapons into space. There was a project, and I think it was Project Starfish, I think is what it was called. When was that? I can't remember the year this happened, but it was, we literally shot a nuclear bomb into space. We were trying to test nuclear weapons on the moon. We were trying to shoot it at the moon. You can look this up. I'm almost certain this is called Project Starfish. But they were shooting nuclear weapons at the moon to test them. And as soon as it got into the exosphere, it was dematerialized, like disappeared, like intercepted is what it seemed like. Like it.
The developer just said no.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I guess that's what it was. Yeah. They're just like, yeah, it just,
Nuh-uh.
yeah, it's like if you're playing Call of Duty and you like,
It's like
shoot a
invisible
rocket,
walls.
you shoot a rocket launcher into the sky and it's just like, and then just all of a sudden it just like disappears because it's just like out of the rendering zone.
Or like in video games with like anti-cheat,
Yeah.
they're like, that was cheating, not yet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess you're right. But then why can you see the moon?
Because maybe using a nuke in space would have been too dangerous somehow. So they just said not yet.
Or that's just the backdrop.
Yeah. There's either. Those are both theories.
Yeah, both theories. Yeah. Or it's aliens and we're not alone. Yeah, it's
So many possibilities.
so many possibilities. It's like, I don't know. Maybe that's a reason why we don't pursue this further, is just because it's overwhelming how many theories there are and how clueless we are as humans. And just people just like get headaches and they're like, it's not worth it all. Like there's too much out there.
I mean, yeah, if you just sit around thinking of what's the reason to live, then you're just not going to live as much.
Yeah.
And you should stop caring about why or how and just do it.
Fuck. Guess you're fucking right. Fuck. Was that a personal jab?
No, that's just
kidding,
that's
I'm
just how I do it.
I love that shit though. I love just thinking about this stuff. It's fascinating to me and it keeps me so like entertained. Like I just like I don't know. I just like have this burning desire for just exploring and cultivating and growing and expanding knowledge and wisdom. Just like finding answers and just maturing and growing. Like I have this crazy drive for it. Like I love this. I love these conversations. I love talking about theories. I love keeping an open mind and just like exactly like we're doing, sitting down with somebody that might have differing views and just like playing pong with ideas, just like batting ideas back and forth and just like, it's like, for me, it's like, this is what we live for. Just like figuring everything out, like just sitting down with people and just having conversations and just figuring this shit out. Like, I think it's so cool. I love it. Because like I said, you're just as clueless as I am, and it's just cool. It's just cool to see what other people can come up with and just talk this shit out. It's awesome.
It is.
And we're already over your last one. But we'll wrap this up kind of with the way that we started too. Your experiences with what's that term you used?
My shruples.
Shroobles, yeah, aren't over, right?
No,
And you continue to pursue those.
of course.
Okay. Well, that is it's nobody. It's cool to experiment and it's cool to try things, like you said. I think that's a great tie-in with this episode because we don't know what happens, and I don't think anybody's in their right to say what we can do or can't do. And we don't have true freedom because people do that. People still try to tell you what we can and can't do. Like when my license expired and I'm 26 years old and I can't go buy a case of beer or wine to cook fondue with my fiance for Valentine's Day, and they won't allow me, even though I have the digital copy of my license, because my real license is in the fucking mail right now. But I can go serve and die for my country, but I can't have a drink because my license is expired, even though a few weeks prior I could buy alcohol totally fine, but my license is expired. So apparently that means my age has changed. Like, how ridiculous is that? That if it were within the expiration date of my license, I can buy alcohol totally fine. But as soon as that date passes, you can't buy alcohol anymore. As if that affects your age in any way. It's total control. They take over and they tell you what you can and can't do. They steal your rights and sell them back to you.
I guess that's like back to the morals thing, because you have to keep your license renewed. So like, because like say an underage kid has a false license, he's not going to probably want to spend the money to keep getting him over and over and over and over for a ton of years.
Yeah.
So eventually he'll probably just be like, you know what, I'm not spending the money to get an illegal license.
Yeah.
So you have to keep a current one constantly in check to keep people who have bad morals in line.
Yeah.
So
I guess.
it's like someone with a fake ID, if it's out of whack, they have to go and get another one. They have to go out of their way to get another out of whack but good license.
Yep.
But because of people like that, you have to keep yours current as well to prove that you're not fake.
Yeah. It's all ridiculous.
It's because people have those personal morals.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Social constructs.
Yep.
It's just like the concealed carry thing we were talking about. For some reason, you got to renew that every 5 years in Illinois, which is absolutely ridiculous. I guess now that I have 5 years more of experience carrying a firearm in public, now I have to redo the safety course.
Yeah.
I guess you can get it you can get a concealed carry a gun in public, get your license and everything, do all that, carry for 5 years, and then you have to renew it, even though now I have more experience.
I guess that law would be put in place to help
Restrict freedoms.
It would be more to restrict like a criminal from getting his concealed carry license once and then always having it concealed on him. So that way because if it was that way where you never had to renew it, the criminal could get his concealed license and then never have to renew it and constantly conceal it and use it without getting in trouble for the concealment part, and you would get less time.
The criminal's going to conceal a weapon anyways.
Yeah, but he's also going to get more time because he concealed the weapon illegally. So it's kind of like, I guess it would be seen as a deterrent, which is stupid, but
Yeah.
it's like a moral deterrent.
Yeah.
Or at least it's trying to be.
I don't think a criminal is going to think that far ahead, and I don't think if they're going to kill somebody with a firearm, they're not worried about whether or not they have a concealed carry or not.
Well, the government thinks that they will.
Yes, that is true.
And the government doesn't care about you, it cares about the criminals, because you're the one who's listening and they're not.
Exactly. Yeah, it's only affecting the law-abiding citizens. They're only making it harder for the people that need to be carrying. Frustrating.
Yeah, they're trying to morally make criminals obliged to their rules when in reality it's
Yep.
you.
Yeah, exactly.
Just making a giant pain in the butt.
Yep. Everything that they try to do to help society, they just make it harder.
They don't make laws because of good people. They make them because of bad people.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for just giving me all your thoughts and opinions. This was a tough conversation to have, and it was cool to have you and have you share your thoughts and opinions, and the dogs are getting noisy. So thanks for coming on the show. I'll give you one last cheers. So Pepsi was the winner?
Yes.
Cherry Pepsi is better.
By far.
By far. Wow. Okay. All right. And that will do it for this episode. Thank you so much for coming on, Devin. Don't forget to tell everybody that you were on a podcast and you're famous now.
I will, and thank you for having me.
Hopefully one day you will be famous. This podcast has exponentially grown since the last time you were on, too. Like, by millions of people more than your last episode.
Oh, yeah.
By millions, I mean a couple thousand, but it's still pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah. So, hell yeah. Thank you for hopping on the podcast. always fun to have you, and we'll have to have you back sometime.
All right, thank you.
All right, listeners, thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next week. Stay tuned, and don't forget to share the podcast. That's the best way to get this podcast to grow. I love doing this, and I love all your support, so please tell somebody about it, and like, share, follow. Stay tuned for more, and peace out.